I was sent a private message, and whilst I fully respect people's right to privacy, when I believe that sexist messages are sent, and in this case I received it on LinkedIn through a professional space, I believe I was perfectly entitled to share that message, to call out that sexism. And I did that because I wanted to know how many other women had been sent these kinds of sexist messages within professional spaces. And indeed, hundreds of women have contacted me to share their own stories, and men have come out in full support against this kind of sexist attitude and behaviour.
Alexander Carter-Silk has apologised. Do you accept that apology now?
The apology that I received was an apology for the offence that I had taken. There was no apology for the message itself and no acknowledgement that the message that was sent to me was sexist and highly inappropriate within a professional context.
So, in the hoo-ha that followed your remarks, one of the papers noticed that you'd commented on some men on Facebook as hot stuff. What do you think is the difference between what you were doing and what you were subjected to?
When compliments are given in the private space, whether to friends or to family, that, in my view, is a private matter. And if you don't feel uncomfortable with that, and I certainly don't, and I know my friends haven't, then that is perfectly, in my view, acceptable. What we are talking about here, and what I want to draw people's attention to, is sexist and insidious type comments which are taking place within the workplace and taking place within professional spaces such as LinkedIn. And there is a very clear distinction. And if people can't understand that distinction, then it really shows the true nature of sexism within the workplace and the huge mountain that we have still to climb.
How many other times have you encountered sexism in the legal profession?
When I was at university, I sought legal experience in a solicitor's firm, and I was asked by this solicitor to send in a bikini shot of myself before this solicitor would even consider giving me experience. When I asked whether that was a joke, it was laughed off and said, "Who knows?" The second instance then of sexism experience, again when I was between the age of 18 and 19, was with a barrister in a taxi on the way to court. Again, another form of work experience. And the barrister in the taxi put his hand on my leg and began to rub it up and down. And since then, I've continued to experience sexism, but thankfully, nothing physical.
What kind of repercussions have you faced as a result of what you did?
I've faced the vitriolic headlines and the character assassination from the right-wing media, being dismissed as a glam lawyer, called a feminazi, a man-hater, and yet I'd never uttered a single word of hatred towards men. In fact, many men have contacted me, supporting me and encouraging me. And then, of course, off the back of right-wing media headlines comes the troll attacks. Then also death threats. Only yesterday I opened my email to find a message waiting for me, telling me how this person within 2 months would cut off my head and place it in a plastic bag because my head is his prized possession.
You seem pretty calm recounting this to me now, but what kind of toll has that taken on you?
Of course, it's taken a huge emotional toll on me, my family, and my friends, but I believe that what I did was right. I believe that I'm standing up against sexism within the workplace, and I hope that I'm encouraging other women to take a stand against sexism, to call it out whenever they see it in a safe environment.
Charlotte Proudman, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you, Kathy.
And a spokesman for Brown Rudnick LLP said both Mr. Carter-Silk and the firm have promptly and sincerely apologised to Ms. Proudman. We've also assured Ms. Proudman that we are committed to gender equality and do not condone any words or actions that depart from that principle.